And let's get it going here. As we speak about Coach Henderson here, he walks into the stage. Go ahead, Max, take it away.
The man himself, Coach Eric Henderson. Coach, thanks for joining us. We were just talking about you're a man with a lot of titles. We got co-DC, run game coordinator, defensive line coach. How's it been at USC so far? Why USC and why now?
It's been awesome. I mean, obviously when you talk about the history of this program, obviously showing you've had a big part of what's been going on here and what has gone on here. So for me, the opportunity was golden. I look forward to it. Obviously getting back in the recruiting world has been something that I've thirst for secretly, and I'm looking forward to that. And just helping develop young men. I think I have a lot to offer in that area when you talk about just the upbringing that I've had. I know how powerful that is when you talk about being able to help develop young men and being able to share that story and help them live out their dreams. And so, for me, it's exciting.
Yeah, Coach, talk a little bit about that recruiting aspect, because you think about coaches sometimes and they think, hey, they're trying to get from college to the NFL, so maybe they don't have to recruit. It's not a lot of times where coaches are dying to get into recruiting because, it's a grind recruiting. You got to be out there. You're on planes. You're flying everywhere. But it seems like you have a passion for that. And, off to a great start here at USC. I'm sure we can't talk about players and stuff, but it's been off to a tremendous start.
It has been, and I do have a passion for it. I think the hardest part about it now has been just leaving my daughter when I go on the road and stuff like that. And so, having had that family time in the NFL over the last decade, if you will, it's kind of different.
Yep.
But being able to kind of clear your mind when you're on the road, whether that be driving or flying in airports, knowing that, you get to compete with other universities that, feel like they have a lot to offer as well. And so being able to represent a university like SC, is phenomenal. So you can't help but be excited about that, knowing that, we have a lot to offer. So it's cool.
That's sweet. And we talk so much about players getting the trust and getting acclimated to new players, but this defensive staff, what's it like getting used to all those guys? You guys are coming from different angles, right? Guys coming from the NFL, guys like Coach Nua, who stayed on from the previous staff, guys that were former head coaches that now are, maybe not taking a lesser role, but just a different type of role from the structure of a football program. What's that like for you and having to mesh with an entire new defensive staff in that regard?
It's pretty cool, but it's awesome in a sense, but because you understand and respect the body of work that these guys have had. They've all been successful in their own right, and so that's really cool. And it's also like that in the NFL. So for me, it's pretty normal in a sense because you work with so many great coaches year in and year out if you don't have staff continuity. And so being able to come in here, I kind of was, it was like a easy fit, if you will, because, you work with so many great minds, but being that you come from different backgrounds, whether it be schematics and, able to work together when you talk about putting together a defense that's going to be, aggressive and fun for these guys to showcase their talents, it's exciting. So I look forward to it.
Coach, already a huge successful career coaching. You'll get a Super Bowl. You've coached a tremendous defensive line in the NFL. Aaron Donald, obviously one of your guys you coach. I'm interested to see what are your pillars as a defensive line coach? What are the foundations that you build? You think great D-line play off?
I think that's what the dog work mentality speaks of. When you talk about having that discipline, having the right attitude, the work ethic, the grit, and then being willing, obsessed with greatness, relentless in your approach, and then having that killer instinct to wrap it all up. So we talk about, dog work as an acronym. That's the pillars. That's what it's about. When you put those things together, it applies to your life. It applies the way that you attack football, and that's what I want to see from these guys. And I think if we can do that, we can turn this thing around, and it's going to be fun for us. Yeah. So I'm excited about that.
Coach, I crossed paths with Coach Lynn last year at UCLA, and we were talking about just the adjustment he had to make coming from NFL to college. Just it's a different game, right? Wider hashes, different offensive structures, and things like that. Has that been a big adjustment for you at all, coming back down to college in terms of just the game style and what you're having to face play in and play out?
Yeah, there's going to be a bit of adjustment when you talk about the hashes. The good thing is, though, I've been here before. And so, it's just you get used to the NFL hashes, obviously, and, understanding that now in the collegiate world where the field and the short side of the field can be an advantage or a disadvantage, and so you got to be able to maximize the length, the width of the field, and that's what offenses want to do, and we understand that. And so different ways that teams are going to try to attack you, you got to be prepared for that. And you're just teaching those guys base fundamentals and how to get in and out of how to get out of trouble, if those trouble situations present themselves. And as long as our guys understand how we're being attacked week in and week out, we feel good about that because they should be prepared.
Coach, talk a little bit about your group. Obviously, you're new with these guys. Got some new portal guys. You got some guys from the previous regime, the defensive coordinator. So, what's important for these guys to get to know you during this spring and hopefully build the foundation for them?
Well, that I'm not going to settle for nothing. I mean, it's at the end of the day, there's going to be no, negotiation when it comes to technique and when it comes to physicality, because I do feel that if you have those things or if you're physical at the point of attack up front, then, we should be able to coach you to have success, and those guys trust and believe that like they have been proving that. I mean, you see guys getting better every day. So I can't help but be, excited about that. And I just appreciate the way that they're working right now. And so it's a good thing.
We're chatting with new defensive line coach Eric Henderson. And, Coach, not only with the recruiting buzz the past couple of weeks, but a couple of weeks ago, Mr. Aaron Donald showed up at practice, which got a lot of USC fans excited. And what was most exciting for me is I think it speaks a lot to the relationship that you guys had, that he would take time out of his day to come here. He doesn't necessarily have to do that. Looking back on that time with Aaron Donald, one of the best to ever do it at your position, what was that experience like? What do you take from, or speak to what Aaron maybe said to your guys, and kind of can we expect to see more of AD around here?
Yeah, give us the juice, Coach.
Right now he's definitely enjoying the time with family. But he's a magnificent person, magnificent father. I've learned a lot from him when it comes to being a father. So that's awesome. I mean, that speaks to the way that he was raised. So he's got really good parents. And so you can appreciate guys like that, especially when you talk about a person that exemplifies everything that you want your unit to stand for when it comes to the work ethic, the discipline, the grit, the things that he put his body through. And I just think that's why he's tired of it at this point, because he did not take a play off, whether that be on or off the field, in terms of the preparation, the mental side of those things. I mean, he just put a lot into it. And so I can really appreciate that as a coach. He's like a coach's dream. And so, I applaud him for where he's at right now in life. And, I was definitely excited to coach him. And so I appreciate that, just having him around. Like, he just wanted to come show support, and it wasn't anything that I really planned. It was one of those deals where, hey, Coach, y'all got practice, I'm coming. Nights come through. And so it was awesome. And a few of the guys that are playing here now had a chance to shake his hand, and that was cool. He's a great guy. He loves speaking to people, and so you just appreciate them, I know I do.
Coach, we've been hearing a lot about, body types. You're going to a new conference in the Big Ten, and you hear a lot about what kind of size, and obviously the guys that put on some weight this offseason. As a defensive line coach, is that something you worry about, or is it more – I mean, I saw Aaron Donald. He's not the tallest of stature guys, but if you put him against anybody in the world, he'd probably blow right by him, right? So is it more mentality as a defensive lineman that you're looking at, or is there some aspects of body size that you need?
It's more mentality for me, to be honest with you, because I think if you got the guys that have the right mentality, but they also understand that, there's a level of strength and work ethic that I have to do to put my body in position to work for me, whether that be, getting bigger, whether that be, getting stronger in the weight room. But when you have the heart and you have the mindset, I think that is the first and foremost thing that, you know, a really good defensive lineman have to have, and then you can coach them through the other things.
Yep.
And so that's kind of where it was with a guy like Kobe Turner, who was the rookie that I absolutely love. You know, I was able to coach him this past season. And, you know, he's not the biggest guy in the world. You know, talk about a guy 6'1", 280 pounds, was drafted in the 3rd round from Wake Forest. Nobody knew who he really was. And but you saw a guy on tape that was physical, that had the right mindset. He had the above the neck approach to the game. You talk about the mental approach, you know, and so you can coach a guy through those things because he has the stuff that you can't really coach.
Yeah.
You know, and so I don't really care about, you know, your height, your length, but that can help if you do have those measurables, and it could help you as well. So
Dog work, Max.
That dog work, that above the shoulders mentality. There we go. You got a few spring practices under your belt. What's just initial takeaways of your room?
You know, we got some guys that are developing, and they're developing fast, and so you could appreciate that. You know, we're taking our lumps in terms of learning the new techniques and the way I want things done, and I appreciate the guys for buying into that. And they're giving me everything, and I know there's a level of patience that's required on my part when you talk about just totally new techniques that you're asking these guys to do. But the one thing they can be proud of, and I think they know, is that they should be prepared for the next level, you know, if they buy in and the things work out in their favor, because they will get better. Mm-hmm. You know, that's been proven, and you see it right now. And I'm excited about that, because when you can point those things out on tape, it continues to encourage them, and they can see where they're growing as athletes and they're understanding ball. And so I'm proud of them for that.
Yeah, Coach, we put that tape on Sundays and this fall when it's coming up. What are going to be some of the fingerprints from a Coach Henderson, Coach D-line? What are we going to see out there from these guys?
Physical, nasty guys flying around, running to the ball, playing with that kind of effort that you look for. You know, we're just trying to represent you guys, Sean, and the way you played the game. You could always respect that. You know, your body of work speaks for itself. And so, you know, I want to be able to come in here and hopefully these guys can represent the way that, you know, our alums would really appreciate it. And that's all we want to see.
Awesome.
Coach Eric Henderson looking to build a bunch of Sean Codys out there, baby.
Better than that, hopefully, man.